Hey, welcome in. Now, how does the woke cult just get into everything? They just get into everything and take everything over, every little part of culture. They just can't leave anything alone, including Lord of the Rings, Tolkien. And here's a newsflash. Tolkien wasn't woke. He wouldn't have liked any of this stuff. What's happening here? A new Tolkien group counter-programs the Tolkien Society's LGBTQ seminar. So it's actually not just LGBTQ, it's just a full gamut of wokeness, as we'll see in a second. So the Tolkien Society has gone full woke. That's what's happened. And it was founded in 1969 and once counted J.R.R. Tolkien himself as its president. But things have changed. They have a summer seminar with just some crazy woke crap. Let's take a look at the actual website, okay? So here's the website for the Tolkien Society. Their Summer Seminar 2021. So what things that, fans of Tolkien and Lord of the Rings and Middle-earth, what kind of things do they want to hear about? Or what does the Tolkien Society think that they want to hear about? So let's see. Here's the seminars. Gondor in Transition. Gondor in Transition. A brief introduction to transgender realities in Lord of the Rings. Okay? There aren't any. Seminar over. All right? Done. There aren't any. Next, The Problem of Pain, portraying physical disability in the fantasy of J.R.R. Tolkien. So, not like where did the dragons come from, right? None of that. No, it's portraying physical disability. This is bizarre. Now, here's the thing. I have a very hard time believing that the mass, the greater part of Tolkien fans, of Lord of the Rings fans, are interested in any of this. I mean, this is not the kind of stuff I was thinking about when I was reading the books and watching the movies, which I enjoyed very much. These are the sorts of things. Let's actually continue. Okay. The Burnt Hand teaches most about fire. Applying traumatic stress and ecological frameworks to narratives of displacement and resettlement across cultures in Tolkien's Middle-earth. Whatever that word salad means, your guess is as good as mine. How about The Invisible Other? Tolkien's dwarf women and the feminine lack. Okay. How about projecting Indian myths, culture, and history onto Tolkien's worlds? It's based on, Northern European myth. That has nothing to do with it. What is the point? And my point is that the percentage of Tolkien fans, or Lord of the Rings fans, that would be interested in any of this is a tiny fringe group. So how do they get to take over the Tolkien Society? They just take over everything. How does this happen? I mean, I just find it hard to believe that just simply the act of calling anybody racist who disagrees with you is really that powerful, that they can take over everything. Is nobody going to stand up? Is nobody going to stand up? Well, actually, it turns out somebody is. But first, let's look at a few more of these ridiculous seminars. How about Pardoning Saruman? Of course. The queer in Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. So are they saying that Saruman was gay now? I didn't really get that, all right, from the books or the movies. How about this one here? I'm sure at top of mind of all people who are interested in Lord of the Rings. Queer atheists, agnostics, and animists. Oh my. Isn't that like a Wizard of Oz thing? None of this is making any sense. And here's one. This reveals a lot. Hidden Visions. Iconographies of alterity in Soviet bloc illustrations for Lord of the Rings. Now, you knew they were going to bring the commies in. Let's see. How about this one? Something Mighty Queer. Destabilizing cis-hetero amatonormativity in the works of Tolkien. Amatonormativity? Again, Tolkien wasn't woke. He would have hated all of this. And just look at the language. Destabilizing cis-hetero amatonormativity in the works of Tolkien. It doesn't mean anything. And it certainly has nothing to do with the Lord of the Rings, and certainly nothing to do with what any fan of Lord of the Rings cares about. It's just critical theory word salads. So this is obviously all insane. How does this happen? I mean, there are millions of Tolkien fans, people who are interested in this stuff around the world. Millions and millions and millions. How did these lunatics take over? Because they certainly are a fringe. They're weirdos. That's what they are. I mean, will this sort of thing, end up being the end of this woke cult? Will it end up being the end of its political life when they just invade into just every little nook and cranny and offend just normal people so much, people that normally don't pay attention to politics, who are going to say, you're taking something that I like away from me. You're taking something that I love away from me. I'm just going to vote for anybody who's not you, anybody who doesn't talk like you. In fact, I'll vote for anybody who talks the opposite of you. But anyway, somebody is striking back. There is a challenger to the Tolkien Society. What are they called? The Society of Tolkien. They've announced a free alternative to the Tolkien Society's July 3rd Diversity Seminar. So what does it say? It says, the mangling of the Oxford professor's work, that's Tolkien, and vision didn't sit well with the founder of a new Tolkien organization. His group has now scheduled a separate event on the same date to offer scholarly explorations more clearly tied to the great fantasy author's work. So having something to do with the Lord of the Rings and the work of Tolkien, as opposed to something mighty queer, destabilizing cis-hetero amatonormativity in the works of Tolkien, because what the fuck is that? That ain't Tolkien. Anyway, among topics at the newly announced seminar, solving Gollum's riddles, an ode to Tolkien and Old English. See, that makes sense, because that has something to do with Tolkien's work. How about mapping Middle-earth? Again, that sure makes a lot of sense, because, well, it has something to do with Lord of the Rings and Tolkien's work. How about Tolkien is timeless, Tinseltown is trite? Maybe it's a little off topic. Maybe they're talking about this rumored woke Lord of the Rings series coming out on Amazon. I don't know. But it's still better than some weird critical theory word salad. Anyway, in a standard that seems to offer a rebuke to its older rival, the Society of Tolkien said it will not accept lectures on, quote, concepts not included in Tolkien's writing. Boy, does that ever make sense. Let's see. Keith Casey, who founded the Society of Tolkien, describes himself as a software developer, entrepreneur, startup founder, parent, and voracious reader of all things. He confirmed to the Daily Wire that he launched his group as a direct response to the Tolkien Society and their nonsense. What nonsense? I mean, you can't be talking about Gondor in transition. A brief introduction to transgender realities in Lord of the Rings. You can't be talking about that. So anyway, this Keith Casey, he says, quote, for an organization devoted to the study and promotion of the life and works of the author and academic J.R.R. Tolkien, I question how their own bizarre viewpoint, which reads like fan fiction, took center stage. Because they have to take over everything. They have to push their weird, critical, whatever ideas on everybody. Anyway, he continues, Tolkien's works are wonderful and should be cherished and understood as he wrote them instead of twisted to fit current social fads. Yes, people don't want every little thing in their life ruined by fanatics, by cult members. And somebody should have stood up. I mean, the Tolkien Society wasn't always woke, obviously not. Somebody should have stood up and said, you shall not pass. But apparently nobody did. Until this guy. He's saying there's 3 key points from the Lord of the Rings. He says, first, we always keep our word. Second, we always help our friends. And third, we always fight the orcs. That third item, fighting the orcs, is what the Society of Tolkien seminar is all about. Woke orcs. I guess that's what they are. Woke orcs. And actually, this final paragraph here, I like quite a bit. It says, Casey said he hopes the main conclusion others will take from the Society of Tolkien is, quote, that we have to step up to protect and celebrate the things we love, or they will be destroyed. The Tolkien webinar is my way of celebrating Tolkien's works. We have to step up and protect and celebrate the things we love, or they will be destroyed. And I think we kind of have to do that with a lot of stuff, don't we? Because the orcs aren't going to just stay in the Tolkien Society. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Please subscribe, like, and share. That really helps me out. If you just like to listen, there's the podcast, Radio Baloney. It's on pretty much every platform. If you look for it, you will find it. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time.